Great. All right. We'll give people one more minute to find their way here, and then we'll get started.
Excellent.
We'll try to keep an eye on the chat, by the way, and answer any questions that might come up. So I have my site open.
Yes. Yes.
All right, this looks like a good list. I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. And we are recording for anyone who's not able to join us live. But thank you all so much for being here this morning to chat about your program in Tallinn, Estonia. We are so excited to have this opportunity to tell you a little bit more about what to expect when your program happens and to answer your questions and get to know you a little better. So my name is Ann Rothacker. I'm the manager of high school custom programs. And I'm the person who's been managing the team that supports you prior to departure. So all those questions about paperwork and logistics that you've been sending our way, my team's been helping out with that. And then once you're on the plane, I will pass you off to our incredible program leaders and team in Tallinn. And as we move through the slides today, they'll introduce themselves and tell you a little bit more about their roles. But as we begin, I just want to let you know that if you have questions as we go along, you can pop them in the chat. And we'll also have some time at the end to ask any questions. And this meeting is being recorded for the folks who can't join us, but it'll just be for within the Jack Kent Cook community. So it won't be shared any more broadly than that. So you can feel free to ask whatever's on your mind. All right, here we go. I'm going to start by turning it over to the CIEE Tallinn team to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their incredible city.
Yes, hello. I think I can start. My name is Evelyn Mürsep and I'm Tallinn Center Director. I really welcome you in Tallinn. I'm so happy that you decided to have your custom program in Tallinn. We have done this Diplomacy and Peace program once before. Last summer we did the same with our high school kids. We had 2 sessions. And this year also we will have do a regular session and your session. So this is our, if you're coming, it's our 4th or already 5th time we are doing the same program. So we are really happy because we have created so many good contacts with our governmental officials and higher policy makers. So these are the people and places we can visit with you. And I'm so excited to do that with you. We also have today here Daniela Norvik, who is our instructor and program coordinator. And before she can introduce herself, I just wanted to say that Daniela is the one who has putting together this wonderful program, and she actually is a teacher and a coordinator for our regular program. And you also have additional staff members who are working with you. But I invited Daniela today to introduce our program because she has the most knowledge about everything, and she is the excellent source, so to say, who can actually answer to your questions and know everything about our program. So thank you very much, and Daniela.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. You guys are tuning in pretty early, and for us, it's a little bit later in the evening, but still, welcome, everyone. My name is Daniela Norvik, as Evelyn already introduced me. I am kind of responsible for the HSSA, kind of the academics portion. So in all questions related to academics, feel free to, ask me about it, and just in general, the program schedule and kind of the outcomes calendar, all of those aspects. Yeah, those are all questions that can be directed to me. I'm happy to answer them. Our team here in Tallinn, by the way, it's consisted of Evelyn. She's the one that runs the show. So she is the one with the most connections. So she's getting us into all of these fancy places. We do have portion of the program that is, of course, lesson-based, classroom-based, but then the other portion is based on-site, which means that you guys are going to visit lots of important, we call them VIP site visits, but they really are VIP site visits, as you'll learn in a little bit. But you'll basically get to visit, the Parliament of Estonia, and like the presidential palace, and all of these like high stakes, I would put them, areas. So she's the one responsible for all of those connections, and she's helping us get it all and put it all together. We also have 2 more team members on our team, so we'll intersect at some point in the summer. So you'll definitely see me around, and I'll see you probably around. And my point is, we do have a couple of more people that you're probably going to meet in the summer. But as of right now, you're meeting me and Evelyn. And so any and all questions, go for it. Okay. It's just a little list of our staff that we currently have here in Tallinn. So as you can see, that's Evelyn, we have Mari and Rosika, me, and then there will be 2 more people that are going to be associated with your program. So we will have another program coordinator, and we will have another instructor that is going to lead the kind of the curriculum that we have so lovingly put together for you guys, and you get to experience it. So hopefully you're all excited.
Perfect. The other people who will be with you from the time you leave the United States all the way through your program are your program leaders. And I'd love to give them a chance to introduce themselves. We've got Chris Johnson, one of your PLs, live on the call. Chris, would you like to say hello to the group and tell us a little bit about your role?
Sure, absolutely. Greetings from Idaho. My name is Chris, and I'm going to be meeting you all in Chicago at the airport. We'll get to hang out a little bit, get to introduce each other. You may already know each other, so introducing you to me and Mary Beth. And then we'll be flying with you to Berlin. I believe we're going through Frankfurt, I think, and then into Tallinn. And we're going to be with you at where you're living. We'll be checking in with you daily. We're going to be participating with the staff. We're really going to be your first line of support.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris. And Mary Beth is not able to be with us live today, but she did share this video introducing herself. So I'm going to let her take it away.
And we can hear.
And if we test it, it was working. So it's a regular thing that happens if audience is here and then it doesn't work anymore. We just tested like 5 minutes ago and it worked. It's so funny.
Try clicking on the 3 dots below and see if you can enable the audio from there. In the left corner below.
In my case, right. In my case, it's right corner.
Sorry.
There's 3 dots there. Maybe this helps.
And hover over your slider bar at the very top where you can also enable the audio, where you start and stop the recording of the presentation. Slide above. It should pop up somewhere on your computer.
There we go. All right, let's give this a try.
Hey everyone, my name is Mary Beth Poulin, and I will be a team leader for you on your trip to Tallinn. I'm pretty experienced in trips like this. I was in Amsterdam last summer for 6 weeks. I've been teaching 38 years, and I've done numerous field trips, overnight trips to DC and New York City, and all places in between. I'm really excited to take you to Tallinn. I think I've never been there, so I'm really excited to get to know it and see it and to meet all of you. I am actually in an airplane right now as you listen to this, so I'm sorry I can't be there, but know that I am there in spirit, and I cannot wait to meet you in Chicago. And let's get this trip started, all right? All right, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So your program leaders are going to be a fantastic resource throughout this program. Anything you need, they're your first line of defense. From Chicago, they'll be living at your hotel with you, so providing that 24/7 support. And they're also there to help maximize your experience by taking a step back and thinking about why these incredible people you're meeting and these activities you're doing really matter and connect to what you're learning in class. And they'll also help guide your exploration of the city. So thank you, Mary Beth and Chris, for being here and for the work you're going to do this summer. Daniela, do you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, all right. So we love doing this for all of our students just so we can get kind of gauge to see how you guys are feeling prior to this trip. So we made this tiny little introduce yourself survey slash tiny little quiz. Of course, this is not graded. It's just totally purely for fun. But if you can go ahead and scan the code, or perhaps you can, I don't know, click on this link here and see if you're able to load the page. And I'm gonna go ahead and start. Actually, I could share my screen if you want, or if you want to open it, and you can also share your screen from the Menti. Let's see, maybe I can do it real quick. I just want to make sure that everyone can see the questions as we get people enrolled. All right, are you guys all good? Can see everything?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So a really difficult question to start us with, but basically if you can tell us your name and where you're from and one fun fact about you, that would be wonderful. So if you guys can get us going, that would be awesome. I should have scanned it myself, just make sure that it's it's working properly, but hopefully. Oh, there we go. We got some answers coming in. We've got Haley from Arizona. I have no idea what D&D is, but I assume it's some kind of a video game.
Dungeons and
I'm sorry.
Dragons, yeah.
Sorry, I guess I'm an old millennial. I have no idea. But that's cool. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. Never mind. Of course I know what that is. Is that it? Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
Haley can tell me
The
later
English
on.
abbreviation.
Jesus. No, of course I know what Dungeons. Okay, never mind. We have Gian from California. She likes to bake. Me too. Me too. I like making banana bread. I made that a couple of days ago. It was fantastic. All right, we've got Yalen. Hopefully, I know I'm gonna butcher your names, but you know, just we'll correct each other over the summer. From San Diego. Flower bouquet. Oh my goodness. By the way, Tallinn in Estonia right now is covered with spring flowers. As we were driving by, it was so beautiful. My goodness, I was just like, this is the most green color I have ever seen in nature anywhere in the world. And I've lived in a few places. We would just pass by and like, this is the most pigmented flowers I've ever seen. So you will see lots of flowers in Estonia. So you can pick yourself a little bouquet and take it to your room. We've got Mercy from Manhattan, Kansas. She has creative writing. That's awesome. Maybe you can write a blog for us. We also do welcome those for the students as well. If you guys are having a wonderful time here in Tallinn, you're welcome to compose some pictures, some blogs. I don't know, practice your creative writing and write a blog for us, and we'll post it for you. We'll put it on our CAE website, and you get to share it with your friends and eventually put it on your college applications, which I know you'll need. So why not? Taichel, I think I'm saying it right. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, you guys. From California, likes Marvel. Awesome. We've got Daisy. She likes photography. Me too. I'm gonna be the annoying person. Well, for your group might not be the one that's gonna be so annoying, but I'm typically that person in whatever group I'm a part of that I'm like, okay, group photo, everyone, let's get together. We got Oscar from Texas. Ox playing football and listening to music. That's awesome. It's gonna be lots of opportunities to sit back, relax, and listen in to some wonderful music here in Tallinn, because you guys are gonna be attending Tallinn during one of the most prestigious times, actually, because we have a really big festival that happens every 5 years, and it's not really a festival; it's the Singing Revolution, which you'll get to learn about. It's very, very much connected to, what diplomacy really means and peace here in this region, especially for the Baltics. But yes, you will be attending during Laulupidu. So if you don't know what that is, you can Google it later on. All right, we've got Eliza as well, is joining us too. Dressed up as a huge shark. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, you gotta turn on your camera so we can see you. I'm sorry, but Eliza, this is like, we have to see this, obviously. You can save it for the end of the presentation, but nonetheless, I have to see it personally. If you don't want to be recorded, that's okay. I'll stop the recording later, but I gotta see it. All right, okay, I'm gonna move on to the next question, and you guys can keep pulling these in, and then eventually we'll send you the results, okay? All right, so the next question I have for you guys, if you could tell us, what are you most excited about? Are you most excited about experiencing all the natural beauty that you're gonna see here in Estonia? Like I just mentioned, we just drove by the countryside of Estonia. It was gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. So it's one of my favorite parts, why I decided to move to Estonia, because it's so gorgeous. But are you excited about learning about diplomacy and advanced e-governance infrastructure and how that's done here? Are you excited about, I don't know, checking out the vibrant startup ecosystem? So Tallinn is also known as the Silicon Valley of kind of this part of Europe, essentially Northern Europe, to be honest with you, because we have 10 unicorns. If you know what a unicorn is, that's basically a billion-dollar company evaluation. So we've got 10 of those. And I don't know if you know anything about Estonia, but it is a very small country. And then the last few, we have spending time in Old Town and enjoying the medieval architecture. We also have the best preserved medieval Old Town in all of actually Europe, not just Northern Europe. So, but I can see split answers, which is really exciting, because that's exactly what we want. We don't want everyone focused on the same thing. We want different people focused on different things and excited about different things. And then you guys can share your experiences with each other and be like, hey, did you realize, or do you know about this thing and that thing? And you can share insights. Evelyn, you want to pop in?
I just want to say that I see the shark.
Oh, you do? I don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm sharing the screen. Okay, I gotta. As soon as we're done with the quiz, I have to see it, because that is just so amusing to me right now.
And it's wonderful. Okay.
Take a
continue.
screenshot in case I don't get to see it.
Yeah,
I have to see it later. Sorry. Okay. All right.
Sorry to interrupt.
Focus.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, next thing we have, if you could please describe with one word how you're feeling about your upcoming trip to Estonia. And let me just be like straightforward with you. If you're nervous, that's totally fine. I mean, for at least the regular sessions that I teach, we have a lot of students that are coming in that don't even know each other. They don't know anybody. So I know you guys kind of know each other a little bit. So, but that doesn't mean that you might not be excited, or you might not be, nervous, I meant to say. It is totally normal to feel that way. You're very young. You're going across the Atlantic, right? You're going to be studying here for a couple of weeks, and it's a lot to handle. So I totally get it. So I'm just putting it out there that tell us exactly how you feel. We don't look at who said what. Really, really excited. I love that. I'm also really, really excited for you guys. Oh my goodness, excited is really curious, energized. Someone's a little nervous, totally okay. We've got nervously excited. All right, they got a sense of humor. They get me. Oh my goodness. Exhausted. Oh no, sorry, not exhausted. Sorry, I'm so blind. Enthused. Like enthusiastic, enthused. Okay, got it. Sorry. That's why I wear these binoculars. so big. Feeling pretty good. Mostly excited. That's fantastic. This is exactly what I want to see on the screen in here. Keep putting in your answers, everyone. I'm gonna try to keep it at a reasonable time for each one of those questions in here. And if you haven't had a chance to join, I put the little link in the chat. You can still go ahead and join and play with us. So we've got 8 players that are ready to play. Should I go for it? I think I should just go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So the goal with these questions is that just try to answer as quickly as you can, and it's not a big deal. It's like if you don't know the answers, that's fine. Just guess. All right. So Estonia offered internet voting in a national elections in 2005, providing convenient and secure way to participate in a democratic process. Does this seem correct, but not entirely, but not in 2005? Is it totally true? Is it probably incorrect? That seems correct, but not in 2005. Actually, the correct answer is that it is totally true. I know it seems like too advanced and too forward, but that's exactly what Estonia is. This is the best way to describe Estonia, is that, you know, you can live with one little device. If I wanted to, I can log in on this phone right now and just do my taxes in like less than 5 minutes. Even that's a generous time, to be honest with you, and go about my day. So yes, it is very much true that in 2005, Estonia was the first nation in the world to actually introduce internet voting as part of, you know, to lead forward the democratic process, and it's still going on, and it's very strong. So yes, but it happened as early as 2005. All right, let's see how you guys are doing. Oh, we've got another one joining us. All right, next question. Estonia has more than blank islands. Despite being a small country, Estonia has a vast archipelago of islands in the Baltic Sea. Is it 150 that we're talking about? Is it 1,500? Or is it over 2,000? The correct answer is actually over 2,000, specifically 2,222. So lots and lots of islands. Speaking of which, I just came back from the biggest one in Estonia, and it's called Saaremaa. So, but yeah, you'll get to, you know, we will have. I mean, you should have with your instructor a little time to talk about these aspects of Estonia as well, not just the history, but also like where it's located and all that stuff. So, all right, I think we have one more question for you guys, and then we'll move on with the presentation. I don't want to take too much time. Next question, I think it's asking Estonians use music as a form of peaceful protest to regain independence from the Soviet Union during the Singing Revolution, which happened in 1987 to about 1999. Is this interesting, but probably not true? Or is this very true? We're talking about a peaceful protest to regain their independence, a country's independence. This is to regain their sovereignty. That's a very big word, right? So it carries a lot of weight. So okay, most of you said that it was very true. Some were like, okay, it sounds interesting, but probably not true. It is actually very true. Estonia is one of those countries that proudly carries the name that they essentially had no bloodshed. There was no war. They just ended the occupation, and they did so in a most peaceful protest that the world has probably ever seen, and probably will ever see, considering what all is happening in the world right now. But yeah, it was a human chain of hands held together from Estonia all the way down to Latvia and Lithuania. So it was a lot of people that essentially stood against the Soviet Union and basically said, we want our independence, and that did happen. And since then, Estonia has been basically holding these like every 5 years, which is the picture in the background, that's Laulupidu, these festivals, Singing Revolution festivals. And you guys are going to be here during the actual Laulupidu, which means that you will get to observe and see the city packed and everyone in just the most beautiful kind of energy around. So anyhow, I don't want to take too much time. Again, you can Google it if you want to prepare for this, or you can even start watching the Singing Revolution documentary. It's excellent, even though you probably watched that in class as well. So, all right. Okay, so it looks like we have lots of points, and let's see, I don't even know how this works exactly, but it keeps moving. All right. Mars. I don't know who Mars is, but yay. You got the ladder board scored pretty nicely. All right, everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop my share and then turn it back to Anne. I guess this is my slide too. I already mentioned a lot of these facts in here. Something that I didn't mention is that Estonia is a very small country. Population is 1.3 million, but have you heard ever the word small but mighty? That's exactly what Estonia is, and you'll get to learn so much about it. Estonia attracts with a clean environment, tech-oriented society, diverse culture, and fine food. Really, really amazing food. Like I mentioned already, Estonia also has a very much of a present digital society, which means that less hassle means time better spent, and you will get to experience that in your program, especially because you'll get to learn about e-governance. So that's a concept that's a lot of countries are amazed by it and they want to adopt it. It's just it takes a lot. It takes the process, it takes the planning, and it takes also the people and the citizens being willing to actually do it and go forward with it. So you'll learn so much about it and all about it over the summer. Go ahead on the next slide, Anne. And then this is just another one of those little points that I mentioned already, but Tallinn is the capital, and it's got a little, roughly over 500,000 people that live here. It is known as the Silicon Valley of Northern Europe. It is the headquarters for the European IT agency, also known as the NATO cybersecurity or cyber defense headquarters is located here. So you will probably have an opportunity to go to visit. I am not going to speak too far in advance, but there is a high chance we will actually get to visit NATO cybersecurity headquarters. So yeah, okay, let's go ahead and go on the next one. I don't want to take too much time here. All right, program overview. I feel like these next few slides are probably going to be all me. I think so, but
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm ready for it. Well, actually, this is Evelyn's side.
Yeah. I can take this one. This is what you need to know about your departure. So when you're in the United States getting packed up and ready for your program, the crucial things you want to make sure you have handy are your passport and your parental consent to travel form. That's the one that you filled out for your CIEE account where your parents signed and notarized it. Keep that with your passport the whole time you're traveling so that anyone who looks at your passport knows you have your parents' permission to travel. Go ahead and pack some essential hygiene items and a light jacket in your carry-on. The planes can be really cold. And remember that you're only allowed to bring 100 milliliters, 3 ounces of each liquid with you on the plane. So think carefully about what you're packing, check your luggage weight, know that you can buy a lot of essentials in Estonia as well. You just want to pack enough stuff to get you started and any brands you particularly love and are attached to. So after you finish that packing, you're going to head to Chicago O'Hare. I know many of you are flying into O'Hare to meet your program leaders, and they will be wearing CIEE shirts and waiting at the check-in counter for your flight. So go ahead and find them there. You'll have a WhatsApp group going, so you'll be able to coordinate. And then the plan is to head through security about 3 hours before your international flight departs. So coordinate with your program leaders to make sure you're meeting up with them, but that's when the group will head through security and immigration. And we'll make sure to share contact information with you in what we call our travel day email, which goes out about a week before departure. So you know exactly how to get in touch with your program leaders and what you need to do to find the group at O'Hare. And then I'll turn it over back to the Tallinn team to talk about what happens when you arrive.
Yes, I think I can also cover a couple of slides, and then Daniela can a little bit rest because she already uh, needs some energy back. So yeah, our staff will be there in Tallinn Airport, and I must say the Tallinn Airport is so beautiful, tiny, one of the most beautiful airports in the world, and actually it's so small that it's not possible to lost. So you just have to take your luggage and come out, and we will meet you there. And it's not exactly planned yet how we will organize the orientation for you, because Tallinn University, where is our center, is closed during your arrival day. But we will figure out whether we do it at the airport in separate room, or we do it at the hotel. So basically, we will do orientation right away after you're landed, and we will also organize a light lunch for you during that time. So, and then we will check into the hotel, and I will later type you the information about the hotel also to the chat, but you can go to the next slide. Maybe we have the name already there also. Not, but I know that at one slide we have the hotel name, and I can later type it, and you can check it also. But yeah, our daily schedule is quite typical. I mean, during the weekdays, you will have a breakfast at the hotel. Then one of our staff members will join you, and you will commute to the class that will be in Tallinn University, because our center rooms and classrooms will be there. And then we will go to the site visits. And again, some of our staff is also always joining with you, but also the program leader. So there will be a nice group of people who are chaperoning you, and mothers and fathers don't have to worry about that. So we don't leave your kids alone. And afternoon, we will have a lunch. Usually, we will give you a stipend to kids, stipend, and they can select what you eat. But we will recommend some healthy places for them, and also we will have a couple of lunches together. And then we will have some culture or co-curricular activities. Daniela already mentioned that, we have these really official visits to different kind of places, but we also have nice afternoon activities that could be cultural. We go to different museums and experience centers. And then in the evening time, it's time to dinner. And again, whether we have something together or there is a stipend for that. And during the weekends, there will be a couple of day trips and couple of free days also. So on Sundays, we usually do not have the activity, but we can recommend different kind of things that students can do. Okay, you can turn the slide. Yeah, well, I don't want to waste time to read that everything, because I just wanted to present you that we have really a really good plan for you. And we actually even have the syllabus documents and co-curricular activities calendar and everything prepared, meaning that we know how many hours we will spend in different kind of places, and what is the intention to be there, what is the outcome, and also it's a really detailed plan. So it's something that we did already last year together with Daniela, and this year we even improved this. So last year it got really good feedback from students that the program was really high level. So we really hope that you will also like this one this year. And we have after these culture activities and language workshops and co-curriculars that already have mentioned, we also have day trips to Pärnu and Haapsalu. These are really nice small towns in Estonia. So you have the opportunity to see a little bit outside of Tallinn also. Yeah, you can turn the slide. Yeah, and again, this is just one presentation about 1 week, and it's just for you to see that, in the morning part, there will be a classroom time. We have really experienced teacher who does those classes, and then we have the lunch time, and after lunch, as Daniela and me already mentioned, there will be some kind of activity, and it can be co-curricular nature, it can be just like cultural, it can be something fun. So later afternoon we have these shared activities, but in the mornings, almost every weekday we will have a class. Yeah, continue. Well, I think that I will now pass again back to Daniela, because Daniela knows the most of the in-class activities.
Sounds good. Okay. I did want to mention, though, in that previous picture, those students were basically standing in the ballroom, which is inside of Riigikogu, which is Estonia's parliament. And the picture is taken with Karmen Joller. She is the Minister of Social Affairs for Estonia. Shortly after we met with her, and she's the one that gave us the tour of Riigikogu, which was amazing because, that's a very rare thing that could never happen in the US, but still, she was really nice and very polite and just kind of like very humble about it. And we were like, anyway, so she took a picture with us and everything. And right after that, we actually got to meet the future Prime Minister of Estonia. He was just casually giving an interview in the ballroom, and we were like, that's Kristen Micheli. He's gonna be the next Prime Minister. So I just approached him. I was like, can I just introduce you to my students? And then he was like, yeah, totally. So that's the kind of environment you're going to be in. It's going to be a really important a really important person in a really important institution, right? That carries, for like over 100 years. But then the people that you meet are very humble and very down to earth. So, don't mistake the gravity and the overall kind of like intensity of the situation just because the people are being very polite and nice. It's just kind of like the Estonian way to go about it, to be honest. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out for a second, and show you guys that those are the kinds of visits we're going to be participating in, high level visits. Now, as far as in-class activities, these are very interactive class sessions and workshops that you will be participating in. Now, I don't believe personally in a classroom that lasts for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Nobody has that kind of attention span. It doesn't matter what generation you're in. I've heard it all. I've heard it. Gen Zs don't have the attention span, millennials, whatever. I don't care. Nobody has the attention span to be in a classroom for more than an hour, to be honest with you. Everyone needs a break. So the way the program is designed is that you will have half of the classroom, half of the lesson basically in the classroom, where you'll get to do different workshops. You'll get an actual lesson where you'll get the information that is, basically assigned for the day. And then the other portion of the lesson is going to be taken outside of the classroom, which means that if you're going to be studying the legislative system, if you're going to be studying about e-governance, then we better take you to the actual governance. So you can hear not only from your teacher and how the program has been structured, but you can also hear from an actual representative that works there. So the representative can be, they can be a minister, they can be someone who works there as a representative of the House. It can be a tour guide, it can be whoever is willing to basically host us and see us over the summer. But nonetheless, the in-class activities will have these kind of like you'll get to learn about Estonia's political landscape, and then, of course, as always, the digital first approach of governance. You'll collaborate with your peers on different in-class assignments. And one rule that at least I personally have is that you always have to collaborate. If it's an in-class assignment or something not related to your group project, you always have to collaborate with someone other than the person you collaborated before. So you can never be working with the same person because, it's boring. Why would you do that? You can be, learning from each other, and that's the whole point. So you'll be preparing little policy debriefs. We'll guide you on how that is structured because we know that you're here learning about, basically, diplomacy and peace, but political science and that kind of structure. So we know that we have all heard about, this is what a policy brief, or this is how it's structured, but you'll actually get to learn the concept of it and the process of it. So we can go ahead and go on to the next slide. And I do want to mention that one of our classes is actually going to take place in a real European House or European Union simulation center, which is really exciting because not a lot of places have these simulation centers. But you will participate and you will role play. So if anyone's done like a model UN style role play before, it is kind of similar to that, except fancier and better. and we will participate in this, and so you'll get to role play, you'll get to, debate in front of each other, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Now, we have about 15 or so in-class hours right now, so those can be lectures and workshops and discussions and variety of different ways that you can conduct a traditional lesson. But then about 30 of them are actually going to be outside of the classroom, which is the exciting part because, you get to actually hear from more than one person. So you get to make your own policy brief and based on different testimonials from different people you have met in Estonia. The co-curricular activities are those that are outside of the classroom, and the overall curricular activities are those academic portions where there's no other way to, teach you about something other than to really just show you kind of like in a diagram or something like that in a classroom style. So we'll try to, approach it in that regard. But these co-curricular activities, they're really important, like I mentioned before. I will get into the dressing part a little bit later, but basically just think about it this way. So at one point, last summer, we also got to visit the equivalent of the Oval Office, right? Except in Estonia. Now, if you go to the Oval Office in the US, surely you're not going to show up in joggers or something like that. So we take these visits very seriously. We try to remind our students, hence you guys, that you are not only representing, of course, the United States of America as young adults, responsible adults, but you're also kind of representing the CIE at this point because we want to be invited back. And what this means is that a lot of these VIP visits, and we will tell you exactly when they're going to be happening and how many of them are going to be and how they're going to be scheduled. We expect you to put your best foot forward. That's the only way I can summarize it, to be honest. And with these co-curricular activities, you will get to experience more of the classroom style and the lessons. And throughout those lessons, whether they're in class or outside of the classroom, so whether they're curricular or co-curricular, you will get to be working on these 5 project contributions throughout the 3 weeks you're going to be here. Now, these 5 project contributions are related to your group project, which means that it's been designed in a way that nobody will be left behind. Nobody will be not able to finish the group project because every few days you have to complete a certain contribution, and by completing the contribution you have already done a portion of your group project, which means that nothing is left for the end. We don't like that. We understand you're here and you're going to be busy and all that, so we have to embed the group project to be kind of like done simultaneously with the program all throughout it, so that in the end of the program, all you have to do is just kind of like polish out your nice presentation and be like, check out what we did. So my point here is that we've done it very, in a very interesting way, but also very user-friendly way. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what we're going to go with. So what can you bring for in preparation for these class activities? You can bring a notebook, you can bring pen or pencil, and then of course something digital because, it just, unfortunately, that's how it is. It's a digital world right now. So we'll need you to prepare eventually a presentation, and you can do it on an iPad or on a laptop or something like that, but do bring your laptops. Now, we will tell you exactly when you need to bring your laptops to class. And if for some reason we're going on a site visit, and obviously those are heavy, we will leave them in our CAE office, which is located just a floor down or 2 floors up or whatever it is, the situation based on the classroom. Nonetheless, it is very, very close, so we can leave them and drop them off in our CAE office, and you can pick them up later before you return to your hotel, so you don't have to carry them around. So we've got it all figured out. Next slide, please. All right, a few things about your group project. Like I mentioned before, there will be about 5 case studies that I have prepared, and you guys get to, we prefer that you don't pick your group member or anything like that. So we would like you to be assigned kind of like at random, so you get to experience how it is working with a person that you don't get to choose in life, which is exactly what the real world is. You're going to be working with all of these people, not just in college, but later on in your professional careers too. You don't get to pick who you work with. So ideally, we do it that way, or you do it that way with your instructor. And the goal behind it is that you basically create a policy report, and it'll include different things. You will start with the background research as per usual. When you're describing something, a topic, something that you're not familiar with, you introduce the topic. Then you will pull in a lot of those models and workshops and discussions and lesson plans from the classroom into your actual project to construct it all together. And then you're always welcome to use on-site testimonials, which is why we recommend that our students bring a little notepad and a pen when we go to visit, let's say, the Parliament of Estonia or the Presidential Palace or NATO cybersecurity, because a lot of these people will share something that, as much as you want to share in a classroom, you don't have always the time to share all of these information. So maybe they'll share something that we didn't share with you, and you can write it down and you can say, Mr. So-and-so stated that blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah happened, period. And then you can pull that into your report and add it and make it that much more better. So you will basically provide a refined and unique youth perspective to a global diplomacy challenge out of the 5 case studies, whichever one you and your team member end up picking. I will let you pick those because they will be specific topics. Some are going to be cybersecurity, some are going to be like e-governance, some are going to be about different things that are going on in the world that are of importance. Grades are going to be based on, of course, class participation, group collaboration. It's not going to be just one thing. You're going to submit a presentation in the end, and we're going to be like, okay, that looks cool. No, you have to kind of like show up throughout the program, and be like, okay, this is my contribution 1 and 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. And that's how the grade is going to be based. Now, I don't know much about how much of an impact the grade is going to have to your program in general. But you will be issued eventually, I believe, Evelyn can correct me, but you will be issued a certificate of whether the program has been completed successfully or not. That is at least how it is in the sessions that I lead. And so far, we haven't had any fails, so yay. Let's go ahead and cover the next few. Okay, this is an example of a co-curricular activity, and I really love this photo of these two ladies because this is us at the Prime Minister's residence, or Prime Minister's office, right? At the time, that was Kaja Kallas. Right now, she is in a much, much more important position in the European Union. But at the time when we were there last summer, she was still the Prime Minister. So we were walking through the Stenbock House, which is the the Prime Minister's office areas. So we were walking from one room to another room, and the person that hosted us was wonderful and just an amazing person. And he had so much knowledge, and the ladies were like, oh my gosh, he's got so much to share. And I was like, well, keep writing then. Everything you think is interesting, you're welcome to write it down. So I really like this photo. And so anyhow, that's how we envision these visits to go, is that you guys get to show up and you show interest, and hopefully you learn something exciting in you. Now, some of these key institutions, we already have a few of them reserved. I won't do any spoilers, but they are really exciting. They're really fun. We've got the Parliament and the Prime Minister's house and the Presidential house, and hopefully even NATO cybersecurity. So we've got lots of exciting things. Now, in addition to this, it's always nice to balance things out. Of course, we've got like these high stakes visits and important visits and things that are happening right now, right this moment in Estonia and in Europe in general, and how at least this part of the world sees governance moving forward. You will also experience and explore the kind of like the heritage and the history of Estonia and how much struggle this country and these people have been through. And it's interesting to put that in perspective, to see how forward they have gone, honestly, based on where they were at one point in history. So to do that, we'll take you to Vabamu Museum. So you'll get to learn about the history, which is actually very sad and very dark, but it must be covered. There's no way to learn about how something is successful today and something can be successful in the future without reflecting on the past. You just have to do that. So we will cover that at some point or another. And so those are examples of co-curricular activities. We can go to the next slide. And then you will have an opportunity to learn a little bit of Estonian. It is the most difficult language ever. That is true. I'm learning it right now. And, I'm very good at understanding. Speaking is a little bit harder, of course, but it's always I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's always nice to be able to greet another human being in their own native language. It just shows so much of your character and how much you care about where you're at. So you can just learn 2 words. It doesn't matter. This is not graded, but still my point is we will have these 3 workshops where you get to show up and just kind of like be there for the locals around you and be like tere and aite, and you can just tell them that you said hello and thank you, and they'll be like, oh my goodness, you've been here for 2 days and you already know how to say hello and thank you. That's very nice. So during these 3 workshops, we'll try to learn some of those greetings and goodbyes, maybe some useful phrases if you're up for the challenge. If it goes hard, that's okay. It is what it is. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand it. But like I said, it's not graded, so let's just try to embrace it. It's part of the cultural experience, so that's why you're coming here. And then as far as your day trips and cultural activities, and Evelyn, if I misspeak on something, you are welcome to let me know. But as of right now, I believe you will have 2 trips. You will have a beach day in Pärnu, which will offer you an opportunity to just relax, honestly. Like sometimes you just need that, especially in this program, because we will be moving, we will be mentally engaged and physically engaged. Not physically, by that I mean, it's just you have to do things, you have to show up, you have to be present and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to have just an opportunity to unwind a little bit. So Parno is going to be used as that kind of day where it is kind of like a free day, but you get to stay with the group and we get to take you to the beach and you get to just chill for a little bit. And then the second one is going to be Haapsalu, which is really exciting. That's where this picture was taken right here. If you guys can see, that is in Haapsalu Castle. It is a magnificent place. It's so well preserved, to be honest with you, and it dates back to the medieval ages. They have a wonderful kind of like a maze underneath it, of a museum attached to another museum but it's all really a maze because that's what castles looked like in those days. So they preserved that, surprisingly enough, and they just went from one room to another room, kind of like trying to depict to their best of their abilities what the room looked like in those days and stuff like that. So it's really exciting. And then I don't know if you're doing a Numme Park, but that is an adventure park team building activity. You'll discuss that with Evelyn, and we'll see if that is happening. But it's a wonderful opportunity to see if you can collaborate together and essentially, build your leadership skills. How do you go from one obstacle to another obstacle, and you have to work together to get there. So it's exciting, but it does involve trees and zip lines. So I don't know.
Daniela,
Yes.
I think I can cover a couple of slides, but
Go
before
ahead.
yeah. No, you can
Oh yeah, it's housing. Yeah, your turn.
it's housing. Yeah, you can yes, this one. I just wanted to say that I just saw that we scheduled a 1 hour meeting, but usually we at least we need a 1.5 hour. And as today I see that we only have covered 20 slides, but we have more to go. So maybe I do like a little bit quicker. And I just wanted to say that I really hope that you have more like time to stay here. But just in case, if you have planned to be here only 1 hour, we will record this as you already know, so you can like watch it later if you have to jump off. But I just wanted to say that we will use the Hestia Hotel, and I put a link to your chat also. You can open it and see. It's quite nice hotel. It's really close to the city center, and it is in city center, but it's really close to the old town, and it's really close to our center also. So it's really convenient to go to different directions from there. And we will have a breakfast as I already said, and we will give you a meal stipend to cover other meals as I already also mentioned. And there will be quiet hours, and your program leaders will be stay with you in that hotel. So this is actually their responsibility, and they will basically see the quiet hours, and they really carefully see whether it's done or not. So I really recommend you rather to keep those times. Yeah, you can turn the slide. Well, I just wanted to also speak a little bit about the public transportation, and we will give you the public transportation cards, so you don't have to worry about that. But the only thing that you have to do is to keep those cards. So please don't lose them, because we will use a public transportation a lot. Public transportation is really safe, clean, on time in Tallinn, and therefore we will use a public transportation to commute from one place to another. So you don't have to pay for it, because we will give the cards, but please don't lose your card. And of course, if you do, please just inform us. Maybe we can find a solution and then can find you another card, but please try not to lose the card. We also have really nice app here. It's the same as Uber in your case. It's Bolt, it's local. And like if it's like necessary to use Bolt, then yes, but we try to commute together. And if something happens, then you, of course, you have to inform us that, for example, you will be late or something like that. So in these exceptional cases, we will use Bolt, but we would like you then that you will share your ride and we can see where are you. So let's discuss it when you are here. We will explain everything in details also when you are here. This is only the information for you to know how to prepare yourself. And Google Maps is really something we use here. You can select either the like walking, like see whether it's a walking distance for you, or is it something that you want to cover with public transportation. So basically there are options to select public transportation or the walking distance, and you can see that. So it's really convenient. And if you want to use the public transportation, it's really on time, as I mentioned, so you can rely on that. And the address of our CIEE center is also here, but we will do the we will send to the staff to who can chaperone the group, so you don't have to worry that like in first days you have to go somewhere alone or something like that. This doesn't happen. We will go together. Don't worry about that. Next slide, please. Yes, and I will cover health and safety and security also, and you can move to the next slide. And I can say that Estonia is a really safe country. I think that Daniela can confirm that we haven't had any accidents or incidents here. Of course, time to time, there are some cultural things or something like that, but in general, health and safety and security issues we haven't experienced so far. And just for you to know, your parents to know, we have 24/7 emergency phone. And what does it mean? So of course we have national 112. In your case, it's 911. Yeah, we have this this regular common national system in place, but we also have our own system. This means that either me or somebody from our staff will have the emergency phone. And if you are not sure whether this is an emergency, but you really want to have some information after the working hours, because during the working hours you can go to our phones or just use the WhatsApp, because we use a WhatsApp. But if something happens after the working hours, you can use our emergency number and we can help you. So this is maybe the most important that you have to know about our health, safety and security system. There are lots of emergency plans, action plans and incident management plans that we have. But for you, just to be clear, we have the system in place and we have the phone number for you available 24/7. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, and so of course, most of the time we will go together somewhere. But if there will be a free day, as I mentioned, and also during the evenings and afternoons when we already finished our common and general activities, you have unsupervised time also. But if you come here, we will explain in more details how we would like to see it. I mean, it's of course Tallinn is small, Tallinn is safe. It's of course good for kids to go and discover it by themselves. But like last year, we actually only allowed people to go together with somebody, to go with pairs. And we also, if there was a free day, we used WhatsApp to time to just to check in how our students like where are they, what they are doing, and it's not allowed for them to go outside of Tallinn. So we have rules in place, and we will explain how we see it in details. But for you to just to know that there are rules and there will be unsupervised time, but we carefully oversee that periods and these times, and this is something we really look like we will really carefully do that, not just letting them alone somewhere. And there is a rule for students to have a charged and connected cell phone with them all the time, because as I said, even if there will be unsupervised supervised time, then they have to time check in, and we will do that. For example, last year we did it after every 2 hours. We ask maybe gave them some kind of like task, just like raise 3 hands and do the picture, or like do the group picture or the picture with your mate. So it's something we do. So please know that. And we will have a curfew, and program leaders will be really overseeing that. And during the weekdays, it's 9 p.m., meaning that you can go to sleep like 10 p.m., but you have to be back at your hotel 9 p.m. And if it is a pre-day, it's 9:30 p.m. And this is something we really carefully also see whether it's so. Yeah, well, I think you can just go to the next slide. Yeah, I think well, here it's 3 hours. So in last year maybe we did 2 or 3 hours. I don't remember exactly, but we will come up with those rules, and we will explain it when you're here. And usually we use the WhatsApp, so the WhatsApp group will be made, and you all will be there, and our staff member will send you every day the information, and also ask you to check in if needed. And here, I think we still have the curfew information. Under the curfew information, we still have the host family here, but it's in your case, it's a hotel, because 2 other groups who are coming to Tallinn this summer, they will go to host families. But in your case, it will be a hotel, what I already mentioned before, and this means that you have to be back at your hotel before 9 p.m. Yeah, so and if you ask why it's there, it's because of your health, safety, and security, of course. And as we always explain to our students, we do our best. You know, we are here. We are here for you. We can help you as long as it's possible. But it's also your responsibility. So if we set the rules, and we will inform you what kind of behavior is something that we expect, then we also expect that you behave in that way. And this is because, you know, it's basically it's because of your safety. And here are links how to be more safe and be more responsible. But I think we will also send that presentation for you, so you don't have to start open those links now. So I just wanted to say that, you know, we can do our best, but you also are responsible to behave in a way that you will be safe. Next slide, please.
And some of these are things you can do before departure.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
make sure that you have these links. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a continuing information how you can be more prepared, and we will give you our emergency number, and we will explain it to you that it's like most convenient to put it to your wallets, but also put that number to your phone. And as we said, you always have to carry your phone with you, so it's easy to call us if something happens, you are lost, you know, it's something is that you need our help. And of course, we will explain in more details. If you come here, of course, you are overwhelmed, you are a little bit tired, and you know, like it's really easy to get lost, or you know, like do not pay attention enough. So we will explain it how to behave, and you know that the first couple of days are actually the most important, because you have to basically understand that you are coming from different time zone, and this affects you and affects you. So basically, we will inform you when you are here, but please be careful within 2 or 3 days when you come here. Do not go out of the hotel in the first night, for example, for first evening, because you're too tired to do that. So we will explain it in more details when you're here. And you know, like, as we actually most of the times we are with you, so that's why you don't have to worry. But of course, if you commute alone during those 3 days, then of course avoid any kind of demonstration or something like that. But I must say that the Estonians are so modest and quiet people. We do not have many of these in Tallinn or Estonia, and that's like that's more like the common sense and common information that we share with all our groups. Yeah, next slide, please. And it continues, there are lots of information and lots of things that you can do to be more prepared. But as again, I mean, we will cover all that again when you are here. And of course, as we provide those slides with our college students also, so of course we recommend every kind of things, not to go out during the night or something like that. But in your case, actually, as I mentioned, you have the curfew. Most of the times we are going with groups. So for example, if you need to take out some money or something like that, always try to use somebody's help. Like as I said, local people will be chaperoning the groups, and it's more convenient to just ask if you have some questions, or you want to take out money, or you want to deal something with money, or you know, like you want to go somewhere to shop something or go to pharmacy. It's always just nice to ask, and we can recommend or help you to do right things. And when you come here, of course, it doesn't matter either you're here like 1 week or 1 semester. With you, an emergency test for everybody, and this means that you have to have the mobile phone that has a local plan. I mean, you have either the international plan that you can use your phone in Estonia, or you have to turn it to Estonian number while you are here, and we can help you if you want to do that. But either way, you have to have the phone that works here. You have to have the possibility to call, to take calls, to send the messages, and also go to WhatsApp group, Google Maps. So it all has to be in your phone. Otherwise, you cannot just be a part of our program, because this is something we need, and we time to time we want to call you. We want to like that you are like giving us the information where are you at the moment, and therefore it's needed. And we will do the test, meaning that we will send in the first or second, like during the second day where you are here, when you are here, we will send you a message, and you have to reply, for example, 1 or something like that, meaning that you got our message, and your phone is working, and we know that your phone is working. So basically this is for that. And the buddy system that I already mentioned, that always when you go somewhere, please do it in pairs, or 3 or 4 people together, because it's much more safe. Yeah, next slide, please.
I would add on phones, because this is something I know many of you are going to be figuring out in the next month.
I just wanted to say that I think we have the slide also about that. But if you want, you can do it now. But I saw that in later slides, not maybe here, but we have the separate slides about the phone, because it is an important thing.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, like
Daniela.
Daniela, yeah.
I was just gonna say, whenever you're ready, I'm ready to take over if you need a break or something.
Yes, I
But-
actually feel that I need some water. So yeah,
Okay.
continue, please.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take over. But Anne, we already have a slide on telephones and specific information on communication as well. As far as your program and cultural behavioral expectations, we have to cover this slide as well. We basically need to remind you all that the official language here in Estonia is Estonian. Although I've been here for about 2 years now and I have never had an obstacle whatsoever with anyone, young or old. I shouldn't say old, but young or you understand, like people around me have always spoken another language. So it's, people speak English, people speak Finnish, people speak Russian, people speak Estonian, German. I mean, there's so many variety of Spanish. I've met a couple of people that actually speak Spanish as well. But my point here is that you will never feel lost. I don't think, a lot of programs have to talk about the language barrier. I feel like we don't have to talk about that because there's always someone who speaks English here and they speak really well. And they're like, oh, I don't speak so good. I'm like, no, you speak pretty well. So my point here is that that's going to be covered. We do have to understand a couple of rules. Here is that you have to be flexible with your expectations. You are, after all, coming to Europe, and in generally, in many countries around Europe, we have to understand that. Things are going to be a little bit different, right? So there, spaces might be smaller, classrooms might be smaller, right? Stairs and things like that. Although in Tallinn, everything is so well accessible and well done. Evelyn earlier mentioned that you guys are going to be taking a lot of public transportation. That is true, but let me just tell you, public transportation here comes with a USB-C charging stations. So, keep your expectations high because they are lovely, they are clean, they are amazing. There's no opportunity for your phone to go dead because even if you come without a like a phone bank or like a charger bank, you just carry your cable around and you can plug in your phone anywhere, including a tram or a bus. So other things in here, be flexible with people. People here are, they're very modest. They're very humble people, and it is not in their nature to pick your brains or to do like any kind of like small talks or anything like that. So it's not that they're being rude. They're just genuinely, that's part of their culture is to leave you alone at all times. But if you ask them for any kind of help, of any kind of information, you will see them turn into completely different human beings. So, I always tell to all of my students, don't mistake Estonians kind of like quietness for unfriendliness because that is not the case. It's embedded in their culture to not be nosy in a way. Like they will hear you speaking different language. They will probably observe you and recognize that you're coming from a different place. But nobody's gonna approach you and be like, "Where are you from?" and "Where's your accent from?" or anything like that. So just be mindful of that and be flexible around it. The food will taste differently, people will behave differently. It can be overwhelming. We totally understand. Ask us what's happening, why is this the way it is. We're more than happy to help you understand all of that. A few more things in here. Estonians value timeliness. I cannot emphasize how important this is. In Estonia, early is actually on time, and on time is late. Every single visit that I have planned so far in the outcomes calendar that you're going to be going with, your instructor, your program leaders. If it says that you have to be there at 10, I would expect you to be there at 9:45. It is a polite thing to do. It is to show that you appreciate the host who is hosting you, that you're ready to be there to listen to just kind of like take it all in, right? So please understand that it is considered very disrespectful to be late. And yes, that includes the 2 minute, 5 minutes that we immediately notice it. And we expect that someone would have told us that they will be 5 minutes late. So it's not something that people will look very nicely on. So please understand and wake up early, take your breakfast early, use the restroom before you go somewhere, and things like that. Next slide. And I will answer all of your questions from the chat. I've been trying to keep up with it. But in terms of alcohol and drug policy, let me just put it this way. No. Everything about it is just no. No consuming, no buying, no intent of buying or consuming or engaging or influencing of any kind. Just no. Next slide. All right, here we are at the phone and the internet communication and all of that sort of stuff. Okay, so first things first, I've been in Estonia for about 2 years. I still have my US phone number. I still have my US phone data. It doesn't charge me very much to keep it on. And my husband's like, you're not a true Estonian until you get your Estonian phone number fully 24/7 present with you. And I'm like, I know, but it's so affordable. So our recommendation is that you guys research and speak with your parents and legal guardians to understand what kind of a phone, first of all, you have, because there are several types of phone. There's phones that nowadays, especially if you have an iPhone, you have to check what sort of phone that is. Does it take a SIM card at all? Because most of them, majority of them right now are eSIM, which means they don't even take a SIM card. So even if you wanted to buy one here, that would be one of the obstacles you have to look at. The second obstacle would be whether your phone is locked or unlocked. And this comes with a lot of contracts. So a lot of people in the US, at least, when you purchase a phone, it comes with a specific plan and you just kind of pay monthly, but that means that your phone is locked, which means that when you travel internationally, even if your phone is able to take a SIM card, you're not able to put a SIM card in because your phone is locked by your provider. So those are two things you absolutely have to keep an eye on. Now, the easiest solution to absolutely all of these things is to just throw some money at the problem. And this is not a lot of money. We're talking about like 40, $50 for the whole month that you're going to be here, and it'll solve everything. You will have international data plan that you're able to send text messages and do phone calls or whatever you might need. And also, please remember that this is Tallinn, Estonia. If you can vote online, obviously there's internet everywhere. The only thing you might have to do is occasionally ask for the password and they do that for security reasons because there's just all kinds of people that want to just mess around. So it's not that nobody wants to give you the password. They will all give you the password, and there's Wi-Fi literally everywhere. And a lot of public spaces will have free Wi-Fi in general because again, you're in Estonia. So my point here is that you should plan ahead to basically make sure that your phone will accept a SIM card if that is something you're considering, that your phone is unlocked if, again, you're considering something related to a SIM card, and to plan ahead for that. Also, check your CIE accounts. Make sure that you don't have your parents' phone numbers listed there, because for all of those emergency alerts that Evelyn just talked about, and for all of those notifications and everything related to your health and safety and security, obviously, we don't need your parents to know 7 time zones away. We need you to know. So please, please go ahead and log into your CIE accounts and make sure that you have that information updated, and that your parents, as much as we, of course, need their information for emergency situations, we need your phone number that you're going to be using once you get here in Tallinn. Now, if you're using or if you're considering a SIM card type of situation, let us know so we can plan ahead. So we can also assist you with that, because it's not necessarily a process that a lot of us Gen Zs and millennials do on daily basis. We're just used to taking our phone and just have it work. So we just need to make sure that you guys understand how that process works. Now, Anne, if I've missed something, feel free to jump in, but I feel like this is a pretty good overview.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. The only things I would add are that if you do have a locked phone, you can often go to the carrier and tell them that you're planning an extended international trip and ask them to unlock it for that purpose. You can often negotiate that. So stop by your carrier store, talk to them about it if you need to. And if you are going to need assistance with a SIM card, reaching out to us at hsabroad@ciee.org is the way to communicate that.
Yeah, I was going to say some of the providers, actually, if you ask them to unlock your phone, they charge you the same as for international data plan. So you might as well get the international data plan to start with. But that's a whole different topic. But you can totally ask them to temporarily unlock it if you wanted to. Again, I've had my data plan for like 2 years now, and I gotta stop at some point. But anyway, let's go ahead to the next slide. All right, as far as other portions of communication, the way we communicate here before you arrive a couple of days, our CIE center here is going to prepare a group chat. And it works fantastically because we will all enroll you in the same group chat. WhatsApp is really safe. It's widely used all over Europe, just the same way we use Bolt, which, by the way, Evelyn described it as a local company, but it's definitely much broader than that. It's the Uber of Europe, and it is an Estonian company, but it is really safe. So the same kind of portion goes true for using WhatsApp here. We will enroll you in our chat, and we will be able to share information about, hey, as a reminder, tomorrow we have X, Y, and Z happening. Please make sure you dress this way. Please make sure you bring this thing or that thing or whatever that might be. And as per usual, you know, like, of course, your hotel is going to have Wi-Fi. Lots of places around the city, when you have a downtime or like a moment to yourself, whether it's during lunch or something else, you can connect to the Wi-Fi to lots of these facilities. Of course, Tallinn University will have, which you will be there for like portion of the day as well. We'll have a Wi-Fi as well, cafes and, I don't know, public places. You will definitely be able to connect and of course, you know, have a moment to speak with your parents, although we always recommend that you do so after the free time has begun. So assume it this way. You will be basically, it's like 8 to 5. Assume that you will be busy from 8 to 5. Communicate to your parents and your legal guardians that 8 to 5 Tallinn time zone, right? Which probably won't work for them anyway because they're going to be deep asleep. So just communicate with them that I'm probably not going to be able to text you or call you during this time because I will be going to cultural activities. I'll be doing this or that. So my point here is, if you would like to speak with them, consider doing that after the program has ended for the day, which is usually around like 4:30, maybe 5 p.m. on occasion, right? And then you can have a little break. You usually have those 2 hours that Evelyn mentioned before, that you're able to kind of like just look around the city with a buddy, of course. And during those 2 hours, you can be like, hey, mom, check out where I'm at, you know? So that's totally fine. Let's go ahead and go to our next slide, which talks about the flow of communication here. You have, of course, you guys are the students in here. Your first point of contact are the lovely program leaders that are so patiently sitting through this webinar right now, and we appreciate you for that. We understand that it is long and lengthy, but they are going to be the first people you contact. So for anything, and they will be able to determine whether more assistance is needed on that, which means that they will either contact us, the CAE staff, the local staff here, because we know a lot about the program and just most of our issues, I would say like 99% of them have been solved by our CAE staff and have not necessarily gone to the portion of getting to the your school staff or, for example, your parents or guardians, right? Or for that matter, someone that works with Anne all the way out in Portland, CAE. So we try not to involve them if we don't have to. So first person you contact is your program leader, and then they'll be like, okay, let me think about this. Should I reach out to Evelyn? Should I think about reaching out to Daniela or someone else who knows more about this topic? So we have different people that would be best suited for different topics and answer different questions. So let's go ahead and go to our next slide.
We also stay in very close communication with the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation team. So if anything comes up on your program, we'll be making them aware as well, just so that they can provide their additional level of support for you and your family. So that's why they're included in this chart. And I think it's important to note that all of the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation expectations have been communicated to us, and those are in place during your program as well.
So here is that example that I mentioned earlier. Why do we need the group chat? We need it so that if you have 2 hours of unsupervised time, it's not like we're just going to let you go and go out and about your city. So like someone's going to be basically watching over you, and we'll be like, okay, everyone, it is time to check in. Send me a picture holding a water bottle or anything remotely resembling a cup of something like that. And so you and your buddy next to you or buddies next to you, it doesn't have to be just one person. It can be a group of 5, 6, I don't care. All of you can get into a selfie and be like, hi, here's me holding my water bottle. So we'll know that it's happening real time. Sometimes we'll be like, okay, hold 3 fingers or something like that. And then you'll send us another photo to basically say that I'm safe, I'm here. And that also helps us, know exactly where your location is, because we'll have a picture of it. So That's how that's going to work. Also, occasionally, Evelyn mentioned that you're going to have group lunches as well. So sometimes we'll be like, how many of you want chicken? How many of you want fish? How many of you want vegetarian? And so we'll put like a little list and you'll get to vote in there and be like, hey, I want vegetarian today. So we'll collect that information in that regard. Next slide. And then, of course, I can mention this as well, but Annie can also cover it too. Your legal guardians or your parents are only going to be notified, as we mentioned before, if it escalates or if it goes past your program leaders and then it goes past, of course, us here in the local stuff, like something happened, God forbid, it's an emergency or something like that. Otherwise, they should not expect to hear from us whatsoever. Like, we're not going to be like sending them daily emails, letting everyone know what's happening on the program, but we will be sending newsletters. We will send in 3 newsletters, one for each week, where we will basically describe what we've been doing. So we have like pictures of, this is how the week started. On Monday, we went there. On Tuesday, we did this. On Thursday, Friday, whatever, we did X, Y, and Z. So they can expect to hear from us in a newsletter format. The point of this is so that you guys are independent and you feel that you're able to accomplish many things without your parents, because soon, before you even know it, you're going to be out there in the world on your own, right? So you're going to get to college, you're going to do whatever you're planning to do, but likely not with your parents hand by hand. So this is a really good example and practice for it. And parents, please, we encourage you to not bother all of your participants. I know you're excited to know information and to have a lot of information, but let them be. They're in good hands. All right, Evelyn, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I'm the bad lady who's like eventually calls to parents if needed. And at the same time, Thomas, maybe it's just for you to know that I will be there and I will be the main contact for you. So if something happens, if I need some advice how to solve something, or I have some like something that I want to share with you, I will be the one who's calling you or sending an email.
You also have the support of our US-based team, and this is for students and families prior to departure, and then families throughout the program. You're welcome to keep reaching out to us at these numbers because we're in your time zone. We're happy to help. So this email address, hsabroad@ciee.org, is the place to communicate any private questions or concerns that you have prior to departure, any updates on your health information, things like that. And then these 2 phone numbers are answered 24/7 by members of our team. So parents, if there's some kind of emergency on program, this is the best way to activate CIEE resources. Our staff in Tallinn will be managing it on the ground, but if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And these email address and these telephone numbers will appear in subsequent communication to you as well.
Thank you,
Evelyn.
No, I just wanted to just what you said. I totally agree with you because you are in the same time zone. It's of course for parents, it's most convenient to use those phones. This local one that we have, it's more for students and for program leaders and the local stuff. Yeah, so to say.
Yeah. And I did have a lot of questions, by the way, in the chat about the packing list. So, I know you're tuning in from CIE straight up, but we got to understand Madrid is not the same as Tallinn. Let's just put it all together. I'm sorry. I know you guys love your standardized packing list, but it's just not going to work for Tallinn because the weather. Okay. So there's a lot of things here that are just different. And I created this lovingly awesome put together CIE planner with all of these links and informations and everything you guys need. Some of you had difficulties accessing it, but don't worry about that. I'll we'll figure it out. I'll definitely, if I'm allowed, I'll send you guys an email. But I'll just attach the file and you can download it from your email. I always do that for my programs too. It's just helpful. But anyhow, it's different because weather here is different. It's very unpredictable. Okay, so you are going pretty far north. Okay, so pack layers. Okay, pack layers. It could rain, and when it rains, because we're so close to the Baltic Sea here, it's cold and it's windy, and we just need you to be prepared for that. that, it's pretty reasonable here in the summer. People love coming here in the summer because it's cool, it's breezy, and temperature really never gets above, I would say, like 30 Celsius, which would be like, I don't know, like 86 degrees, maybe like 90. Even then, it's like, what, 3 days? Like, you'll be fine. It'll cool off pretty. If it starts to get warm like that and humid, which again, it never really happens. It basically means it's going to cool off pretty soon. Like the sea is just going to dump it all down and just gonna wash it all off. And my point here is that it can get colder. I would probably plan on bringing in a light rain jacket rather than bringing in, like another pair of shorts. You'll need them, but, I'm just pointing out that more likely things that are unusual for other programs right now happening in all over Europe by CIE would be to recommend to you to bring a light rain jacket, to bring your own, like, I don't know, sunglasses. And the reason why we say you need to bring sunglasses is because right now it's 8:30 p.m., but it's still daylight outside. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Our sunset right now is at 10 p.m. and it's only like May. So by the time you guys get here, sunset is probably gonna be around like 11:30 p.m. and midnight, and it's never really true sunset or like dusk. It's more like dusk all throughout. It's never really nighttime, if you know what I mean. At least for those few weeks. And sunrise is probably gonna be like 4 a.m. So my point here is sunglasses go a long way here, and sunscreen, and maybe like a rain jacket, and all of these things that are not typical or usual for other areas all over Europe. So I've got another slide coming up with more things to pack. So again, we love you guys from the US team for having everything on the Know Before You Go course, but we have to have an Estonia specific list, and some of that list will include things that I already mentioned. I have already sent the PDF document in here. I've sent a link to the live website where I kind of made it. It's all free. It's just basically all you need to do is just find the area where you have to continue as a guest. You don't have to make any accounts, nothing. Just continue as a guest so that the page opens, and then you enable the cookies, and then you can download or screenshot the list or whatever. And we also have an HS Tallinn email account, so later on we'll discuss it, but if it's okay, then we can just send you an email where this list or this PDF document can be attached, and you guys can get to review it with all of these essentials in here. Of course, rain jacket, small tote bag, or like a little backpack, water bottle, some of your adapters. Always, 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 if you can, bring a little charger for your phone just in case. Or if you are not able to afford a power bank, just go ahead and bring your second cord. I'm sure you have a second cord for your phone. There's no way you guys are not attached to your phone that way. This is just not gonna happen. Bring a second one, put it in your backpack, and charge on the bus, or charge in the classroom, or charge anywhere else, because Tallinn is very accessible in that regard. You can also scan this QR code. It'll take you to the same page that I already discussed and sent into the chat. And let's see what else is left. I know we're running late on time, but usually we do these in like an hour and a half. I have no idea why we did 1 hour. Anyhow. We talked about documents and essentials, a few things. These are only for emergencies, okay? So don't freak out just because we're talking about passports and all this kind of stuff. Bring 2 copies of your passport. Try to bring them in color, nicely printed. This is only for emergencies. If something, God forbid, happens, like you lose your passport, because we will ask you to bring your passport to certain locations, right? So we're going to the US Embassy, we're going to visit the Parliament, we're going to visit the Presidential Palace. Your school ID or your state ID is not going to work because you're going to be in Europe. There's no way to check for that. So the only way to enter these like high profile buildings is to bring your passport. If you don't have your passport, you're going to have to sit it out in the lobby on a bench. And that wouldn't be very much fun. So bring your passports with you, obviously, when we tell you to bring them. And just as a precaution, because we ask you to bring them on several of these visits, bring 2 copies of it in case something happens. We have never had an incident, but just never say never. Bring a letter from the CIE just in case. Print it out if you want to, or have it digitally available. I would prepare myself an email, and I would attach all of these things and send it to myself, so that email is easily accessible at any point if you're not into printing things. I'm not into printing things ever, but I always have like I have my own chat on my own phone where I add all of these things, and I'm like, oh, someone asked me for a packing list, or someone asked me for this or that. I upload all of these documents and I send them to myself, and then I just download them, and I know exactly where they are. So do something like that. Your iNext card, take a picture of it. I know you can bring it with you, but still take a picture of it and have it handy, and just in case. Prescription medication, again, Europe is very different. Estonia specifically is very different in this regard. If you're using something like, let's say, there was this one discussion recently about an EpiPen. We're not able to buy that. You need a prescription for an EpiPen here, right? So it's just not distributed in that regard. So always make sure that you're aware of these things, that if you can be clumsy, you have to be responsible for your medication. Keep a good eye on it and make sure that these things are not being lost or not being damaged in any way and things like that. So don't put them in your checked luggage ever. Bring them with you in your carry-on. And we talked about the plug and the adapters, and bringing warm and light casual clothing. Emergency numbers, you can bring your emergency numbers. And what I do is I always tell my students, put your transportation card and your emergency number card in a form of a little piece of paper, or like a little business card. Put it behind your phone case. Okay, that's what I do. And we will give you another emergency card when you guys arrive here on site, which will have similar phone numbers. And we make the students, I know your phone's going to look ugly for like three weeks, but that's fine. You can throw it later. So you just kind of pop your case and you put the little card in the back, just so you can have it handy, because we know you're not going to lose your phones. All right, next slide.
I would add that iNext card that's mentioned there. About 2 weeks before your program starts, you'll get an email from us with information about your travel insurance policy with iNext. It's included in your program fees. So just take a look at that email. It includes an image of a card. It's not actually a physical card, but it includes that image of a card that you'll want to print out and bring with you.
Yeah. Also, for liquids, medication has exemptions, especially when you're traveling abroad. So of course you can check that, but that's one thing I definitely know for sure, is that baby food and certain medications and things like that have exemptions. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Putting it in your carry-on luggage, just double check what kind of medication, because if you're just getting a regular syrup, it just might not work. But if you bring a prescription with it, no one's gonna turn you back. All right, come prepared. Do you have enough? Speaking of medication, do you have enough of that? Right, so plan ahead, because you can't buy the same medicine here likely, and it's just gonna be a lot of work to make it all happen. Let's see what else. I already talked about that. Yeah, I think I talked about everything in here, so I'm just kind of ahead of myself, so we can go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so this is our CA staff and emergency contact information. We will give you a card with our emergency phone numbers. Again, your first point of contact, because your program leaders are going to be staying with you in the same hotel, likely 2 rooms down. That is the first person you call about anything at all. And then they will have the same information, and they will go ahead and reach out to us. However, the building's on fire. Of course, that will probably never happen, but still, forget about us, forget about these phone numbers. Just go ahead and call 112. That is the 911 equivalent in the US. Okay, so we've got some information about that here. And then how to have a good time. Can we just end on a really nice note here? Common challenges here. Of course, we're gonna work, but we have it all figured out in a way that we will minimize walking to as much as possible. Of course, Europe is very small and tiny. Like, your version of walking in the US is like a little bit different. You're like expecting to go God knows where, but it's literally just like behind this block here for us. So there's going to be some walking in some areas that are restricted, like Old Town, for example, is restricted. So like certain amount of cars are not able to go. Transport doesn't go through there because it's Old Town. It's medievally preserved. So there's like only like specific taxis that go through there. So some areas we're going to unfortunately have to walk, and if that is an issue, we already have a plan in place. So don't worry about that. Do not ever try to break in a shoe abroad. Like, I'm sure you know that, but if you're going to be buying new sneakers and you want to rock them during your program, please wear them like at home for like 2 weeks before you bring them here, just so you can know that they're comfortable. And that's usually the main factor that restricts our students from going from point A to point B is that their outfit is just wrong, and or their shoes are just uncomfortable. So sometimes they're like, oh, they blame it on the weather, and I'm like, there's no bad weather, just bad outfits. So we're gonna go ahead and go with that kind of mentality forward. Um, you don't be surprised when it gets windy or rainy. We talked about that. Just throw in a rain jacket, light rain jacket for the summer. You'll be fine. Customer service, they're not rude. It's just not customary to be nosy or to be direct or overly chatty in general. Feeling homesick, totally get it. I was, what was I, 18 when I first moved in the US to not just study abroad, but to live and study in general. So I've been there, I've done that, and I know how that feels. So our staff here has similar experiences as well. So reach out to us, reach out to your program leaders. They've dealt with this before. We can help you, and so that you don't have to like go into, be like, oh my goodness, what am I doing here? What's happening? Things are gonna be awkward at first, right? But you'll get through this, and just feel free to talk to us, and we'll help you out. And how to have an awesome experience is main thing is just be open-minded, be flexible, be open-minded, be willing to learn. We have such an amazing program here, and honestly, we've spent so much time working on it. There's no way you're not gonna like it. Like if you don't like it, I gotta hear about it. Be like, okay, what exactly? Because it was amazing. Anyway, long story short, I'm just joking here, but just be open about it. We are going to hear about some fun stories and some sad stories and some politically interesting things that are happening in the world right now, but that's exactly why you're here. You're here to study that. And we don't get to control what's happening in the world right now. It is what it is, right? And if a discussion comes up, we will, be political about it, and we will discuss it, and we will come to a lovely consensus that some things are happening in the world. Anyhow, be sure to stay healthy, eat healthy, stay hydrated, right? So if you eat junk food, naturally your energy is going to be drained. You're going to feel down. But if you do eat like salads and fresh greens and things like that, it's just science, right? It just lifts you up. It gives you more energy. So try not to do too much of fried foods and I don't know, like fast foods or anything like that for lunch. If you're given the opportunity to choose for yourself, choose wisely. And don't forget to rest. Go to bed at a reasonable time. Like put your phone away. You have class at 8:30 in the morning. Show up. You're only here for 3 weeks. You can sleep the rest of the summer as soon as you get back home. Okay. Or be on your phone. I don't know what your main thing is, but my point is just go to bed at a reasonable time. Try to shut your curtains. Bring an eye mask. If you don't have one, when you get here, you can ask us. I'm sure I have plenty in my drawers. So we'll help you out. My point is because it's sun. Maybe the curtains are not fully like whatever, sunproof or whatever. But my point is try to go to bed and try to sleep in and get that rest. And early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. And that's just gonna be how it is in Estonia, right? Prep the night before what you're gonna wear, what you're gonna bring, so that when you wake up in the morning, you're able to get your breakfast downstairs. They will have breakfast, right, Evelyn, in the hotel? I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
And so don't think about, oh, what outfit I'm gonna wear. That's if you're thinking about what outfit you're going to wear in the morning, that means that you're off to a bad start. You're likely going to either not be able to nourish yourself well with food and well hydration and rest and just kind of like mentally prepare yourself, or you're just going to be kind of like in a rush the whole day and just kind of thinking it, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. Think the night before. Always reach out to us for any help, even if it is like, hey, look, I'm not quite sure if this is the right outfit. That's cool. Just send us a photo privately and we'll be like, yeah, I think that'll work. So it's fine. We're cool like that. So next thing, what to get excited about. I talked about all these fantastic things, but you will get to see the best preserved medieval old town in Europe. You'll get to visit the parliament, presidential palace, many other fancy things. You might even get to the adventure park where you get to go from obstacle to obstacle and then do a little bit of a zip line situation, which will be a lot of fun. I don't know how that's gonna, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, information sites, visit estonia.com and estonia.ee are really helpful. Here's another QR link, or sorry, QR link, sorry, that you can scan. And this leads you to our own personal scavenger hunt that we made, that is kind of like accessible online if you want to see some of the sites or read some of the information beforehand. It's just silly information, there's nothing too crazy on it. But if you want to read and prepare in advance, you're welcome to scan that QR link. And if not, I'll share it in the chat right after this. And then if you guys want to get connected, obviously, you can start even now. Be like, hey, CIE Tallinn, check out my suitcase. I'm ready to come. You can tag us and then we'll share it in our stories or whatever. You can also follow CIE Global Navigators. You can talk to them and see what other students are doing all over the world, not just Europe, obviously, because they have fantastic programs everywhere. You can use a hashtag if you want to, like CIE Tallinn 2025. That's one way to connect. And then eventually, you can go to the next slide, but eventually, if you're excited about this and if this is something you want to do in the future, or recommend one of your friends to do it, I believe you can even start doing referrals right now. And then you can get, like, I don't know, some financial incentives, obviously, like no one's doing things for free nowadays, but there is a pretty decent, like 200 euros will get you a long way in Europe. You can get some really sweet things, but anyhow, so you can refer the program to your friends if you want to. And all you need to do is go to the CIE account and retrieve that link, and then you can share it with whoever you want to share it. Of course, this is totally up to you. We're just giving you information. So, and I believe that's the last thing. These are pictures from last year where we took our students. We've got lots of cool areas. That's the little zipline situation there that I was talking about. Then we've got this like video on the side here where we got to go to Estonia's open air museum, which is basically a museum, but it's open, and it's like an old village that's preserved from the, I don't know, like the medieval times. And this is happening during Janipäev, so I'm trying to think, Midsummer's Day, sorry. Midsummer's Day. And there's lots of like folklore and fun dresses and things to observe. So that's a little video of our students. They got to go there and attend a visit and see how Estonians used to live like back in the day, and actually still do like today. So it's a fun video. It's a little bit lagging, but it's a lot of fun. So yeah. Anyhow, okay, we did it. We're a little bit over time, a little bit much, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that everyone has an opportunity to answer some of your questions. If we type, which is gonna be too much, so someone can read them, and me and Evelyn can just go ahead and tackle them. And if you want to just read them, we can just start answering them, so we're not having to type.
Absolutely. All right.
So credit cards. Yeah. I see that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this one. I have to answer this one. My favorite thing about Estonia is that I literally leave the house with this little guy and it takes me everywhere. I can literally unlock a public toilet with Apple Pay. So it's really cool that Estonia accepts wide variety of credit cards and things like that, and debit cards and all of that kind of stuff. They also accept cash. It's not like, going to Germany or somewhere else and they're like, oh no, only cash. You can't use cards. In Estonia, no one's going to turn you back. You want to pay? You can pay with whatever you want to pay. Okay, you can pay with cash. You can pay with cards. Obviously, we recommend that you guys use your credit cards because you can track all of your transactions and stuff like that instead of using a lot of money. But if you're out in the city, don't ever leave your hotels without like empty pockets. Always have like 20 bucks or 50 bucks in just kind of like sitting around just in case something happens. Like, for example, we had a situation where a student was eating in one of the restaurants with their buddy, and their bank decided that they didn't inform them that they're leaving the country, and so they decided to block their card, so she wasn't able to pay for her meal, and she started sweating it. So obviously her buddy was able to come in and help, but she didn't have any cash on her. And so it was just a tiny little situation that happened. So always carry cash for things like that. Be like, oh, my credit card is not working anymore for whatever reason. It's okay, I'll pay with cash for my meal. So something like that. But yeah, if you already have like a phone, put your credit card beforehand on your Apple Pay. And I only say Apple Pay, but you can put any card you want. It's just called like that, okay? It can be any phone. It can be an Android. Just go ahead and load in your phone, and then you can authorize it with your fingerprint or your face ID, and you're able to pay with that sort of situation. Sorry, I talked too much. And go ahead.
No, that's okay. That's great. That's really helpful information. I love how digital everything is.
It is
Um,
fantastic.
Great question here about whether they're staying with host families. So this was a decision that we made with the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation. We decided to have you guys stay in a hotel instead of with host families so that you have more time to collaborate and be together as a group.
You already
With
know
these
each other. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a chance to work on some of those projects together collaboratively, and also to socialize together and bond, and your program leaders will help with that. Let me see.
How many euros should you bring for spending money? Leave your spending money. I removed that slide just to keep it on time, but I always have a slide on responsible spending and lifestyle choices and things like that. So my advice here would be to leave all of your spending money for the last week, because you might be surprised that, be like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and have a juice or have this, have that. So try not to overextend yourself at the first 2 weeks. But if you do want to have some pocket money just for safety and things like that, I would say like 200 euros should be pretty good, because you're gonna be given a stipend for some of your meals, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you do want to supplement that, I would say like 200 euros. Just don't carry those 200 euros or something like that plus around with you every single day, because there's no need for that, right? So.
Yeah, I would say, families, you can really set your own budget here because the program is all inclusive. All the activities, all the meals, all the transportation is covered. The money that you bring will just be for incidental things. For example, if you want a souvenir, you want a snack. So it really is up to you. If that $200 amount feels high, that's totally okay. Bring the amount that makes sense to you.
Exactly. So that's a really good point. You bring that money for special things, but some of those things are unexpected. So for example, you may have bought a few more things that you were allowed with your own money, right? Or you saved it. But then it turns out you got to take it home now, and you got to check an extra luggage. You got to pay for that. So my point here is that it things might come up that you didn't really foresee. So like that, one of those things would be like, oh, I came with one bag, but now I'm leaving with two for some reason, and you have to pay for it. So, Evelyn.
Yes, I just wanted to add that last time we had one accident, not accident, incident with glasses. So glasses were broken, and then like if you want to, like if something like this happen, of course, like we are here to help, but it's for your own convenient, like to be like more convenient. But as Anne said, it's our recommendation. Just it's
yeah,
not
you
something
can
have
come
to
with
carry
as
with you.
little as $50, to be honest with you. Like I'm one of those people that I will spend on something ridiculous, but then I will never pay for €5 for a latte out in the city. Like I just think it's silly. So I bring my own coffee everywhere I go. So, it just depends on what kind of lifestyle you live. So I bring my own coffee. I don't spend on things like that because I don't see the value in it. But then I'll see like the cutest little thing and I'll be like, oh, that's totally worth 40 euros. And then I'm like, that makes no sense. Anyhow, so it depends on what kind of spending patterns you have.
We had some questions too about how laundry works, and small electronics like hair dryers.
Mm-hmm. Well, hair dryers, the hotel will have a hair dryer. I wouldn't bring that, to be honest with you.
Yes,
Because it'll blow,
already.
especially if it's a Dyson. Please don't bring your Dyson here. It'll blow. Mind it.
Yeah. Any sort of small, like cell phones, laptops, tablets will work really well
Yes.
with just the electrical converter, but the voltage is different in Tallinn as well. So you don't want to bring any small electronic items like hair dryers or straighteners, because they are very likely to respond badly to that difference.
If you put on your converter, if you put the adapter and the converter together, some of the curlers or hair dryers will work just fine. I have a curler here from the US that I only use a little adapter, and it's worked fine the whole time. But then again, I wouldn't recommend bringing like, there's no need for a hair dryer because the hotel will have it, and there's no need for like some of these other things. But phones and everything else, like Anne said, will work totally fine. So pick the battles you want to win.
And it sounds like there's laundry at the hotel.
No, actually, we have to go out
Next door.
to do our laundry, but it's not far, and we will explain it when our students are here. It's not far. It's like maybe 10 minutes by walking or something like that, and it's more convenient, the most convenient place to go. We have it. We have a couple of like more closer, but we will recommend the one we like.
Yeah, and you'll have like 2 free days, like obviously as a responsible young adult, we're not going to refer to you as high school students. We like to say responsible young adults. It's just one of those things you're going to have to learn to do in life. And it's going to be an experience. So if you don't very confident, just pack an extra pair of shirts that is a neutral color in case it gets colored or something like that. But it's an experience. Think about it that way. So.
Yeah, your program leaders will help you with that too. But it might be good to get a practice load in before you go if you don't usually do your laundry at home. Awesome. I think those are all the questions I'm seeing in the chat. But folks, if you have others or things you want to discuss, one-to-one with us, that hsabroad@ciee.org email is the one to reach out to. We're happy to talk to you further about any of these pieces now and throughout the lead up to departure. So we look forward to staying in touch. We're really excited to welcome you to Tallinn. Very excited about this partnership with the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation. So thank you all for being here today, for staying on for so long, those of you who have made it to the end. And I'll be following up next week with a recording, with the slides, with that packing list, so that you've got all the resources you need to continue your pre-departure preparations. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you here already. See you.